Welcome back to another weekly recap of Wifey's favorite league. Week 3 is in the books and Shaboy is 0-3. And man, it's lonely down here at the bottom, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm getting PTSD from that very first season. All the OG members remember when I started like 0-6 to begin the year. It doesn't feel good, all right? But I'm not giving up on my guys. We might bring in a motivational speaker to come give us a pep talk in the locker room this week because I really don't think these men want to succeed as bad as they want to breathe. You know what I'm saying? They're not comfortable being uncomfortable yet. You feel me? But we gonna get there. Just like Gridiron Gang, they can't spell Mustangs right now, but they'll learn. You mark my words. Realistically, though, I feel like I'm handling it much better than that first year. You know, there's growth. I'm only sipping on the bleach rather than taking shots of that. So mental health hasn't fully crumbled yet. But less about my sorry-ass team and more about the league. We had a very weird week of games this week, but entertaining nonetheless, so we will break it all down. But first, we have to give our shout out to the winner of the highest scoring team. The co-commissioner, Rich, is the winner of the $10, which actually brings up a really good fucking point. If you're the co-commissioner, why the fuck am I giving you $10 of my money? Ain't this our responsibility to run this league ourselves, put in equal effort to the success and the integrity of this well-oiled machine that we call Wifey's favorite league? You think that co-commissioner title is just for show? Nah, you better put up $5 of your own damn bonus money, and I'll give you the other $5. Out here just collecting checks. Watch me take that little C away from your name real fucking quick. Congrats, though. I'll be happy to split your payout with you after the season. Into the matchups we go. We have Cut My Life Into Pieces taking on West Texas All-Stars. Curtis's team bounced back from his loss in a huge way by responding with some monster performances headlined by a 36-point outing by Saquon Barkley. Even my own 30-point game out of raw shrimp fried rice. Anybody? No? Okay. Wasn't going to keep pace with the second highest score on the week, and in a downright ironic twist of fate, Curtis lost last week because he didn't start a defense. And I actually would have been better off not starting a defense because the fucking Raiders literally did more harm than good to my team. Isn't their stadium fan section called the Black Hole or something like that? Let's just use that word to describe all the hope and joy that gets sucked in by their fucking fantasy defense anytime you fucking put any type of trust in them. Like, fuck. Curtis wins the matchup 161.48 to 137.93. Next, we have our rivalry matchup between two of the biggest shit talkers in the league. Neighbors saw my Dak and Henry had a little lamb. Even without his first round pick, CMC, Rich was able to kick David right in the Dak and put up the highest score of the week behind rookie sensation Malik Neighbors' 2-touchdown game. On David's team, Derrick Henry was stiff-arming a whole lot of Cowboys, but he couldn't quite get away from Rich as our co-commish takes the rivalry matchup with a final score of 164.64 to 120.93, handing David his first loss on the season. Then we look at fourth down syndrome versus Team Plemis. After Tua Turndabalova was unfortunately forced to exit last week's game, Ashton made a QB change to try and spark some offense, but unfortunately Baker did not bake this weekend. Despite a strong 3-touchdown game from Kyron Williams, it was Phil's team getting the dub and picking up his second win in a row. Riding on the back of the Bengals duo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Phil was able to cruise to the biggest blowout win of the week in a nice victory with a score of 160.06 to 101.14. Next, we look at Obeite's balls as he takes on the football team. Darrell's team had put up back-to-back 170-point performances in weeks 1 and 2, but he fell back down to earth this week as he was barely able to muster 100 points. However, it looked like he was still going to pull out the dub going into Monday night, where Nezdova had only 30 points out of 6 players. But then Josh Allen and the Bills happened, scoring over 75 points between 3 of Nezdova's players and catapulting him to a comeback win. Nezdova gets the dub and hands our first-place team his first loss of the year with a score of 123.27 to 101.89. Then in the last matchup, we've got Chiwiwis taking on My TVs Are Real. Abel also came into this week winless at 0-2, but unlike me, he finally gets a dub on the board after a solid Week 3 performance. Behind a 2-touchdown game out of Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, Chiwiwis was able to put up some solid points in search of his first dub. Not a whole lot went right for Chantel's team this week, including a big fat goose egg by Rashid Shaheed the first week she decided to start him, and Chantel was not able to break even triple digits. Abel takes the dub and earns his first Wifey's Favorite League victory in his career with a score of 122.15 to 90.13. Rankings time. Let's see where the teams are in the standings. Still in first is Darrell's The Football Team, followed by Rich's My Neighbors Saw My Dak in second, Phil's Team Clemis in third, Curtis's West Texas All-Stars in fourth, Taylor's Obey Tays Balls in fifth, and David's Henry Had a Little Lamb in sixth, all at 2-1 and no more undefeated teams. Then we have Ashton's Fourth Down Syndrome in seventh, Abel's Chiwiwis in eighth, Chantel's My TDs Are Real in ninth at 1-2, and then in the lowest, darkest pit of despair is My Cup My Life Into Pieces at 0-3 and firmly in last place. Time to preview some matchups. We have an early toilet bowl contender as my 10th place team takes on Chantel's 9th place team. Chantel's looking to bounce back and avenge her loss to Abel and me. Honestly, man, we're just going back to the basics of football. I'm just hoping both teams have fun first and foremost, and then we can focus on trying to get a win. Can I pick up my first dub of the season, or does Chantel push me a teensy tiny bit closer to everlasting depression? We will see. Next, we have My Neighbors Saw My Dak taking on the football team. This is the opposite of mine and Chantel's matchup, as Rich and Darrell are the number 2 and 1 team in the league respectively, so this has huge seeding implications. Does Darrell bounce back and return to the week 1 and 2 Darrell that we saw, or does Rich unseat our first place team and bring his 3-week reign to an end? Then we have Henry Had a Little Lamb taking on West Texas All-Stars. Curtis would be undefeated had he started a defense in week 2, so this matchup could be a little tougher than it looks for David. Our Navy man will try to avoid dropping 2 games in a row and come back in the win column. Next matchup is Fourth Down Syndrome taking on Chiwiwis. The 2 A names go head-to-head as Ashton takes on Abel after losing 2 in a row. Again, this matchup is featuring 2 teams ranked right next to each other at the 7 and 8 spot, so we could see their rankings flip if Abel can put together a 2-game win streak. And then last matchup will take place between Obey Tays Balls and Team Clemis as Nesdoba takes on Phil. Both teams are 2-1 and looking for that 3rd win on the season. Nesdoba is hoping to get a big game out of his Bills players again, while Phil is hoping the Burrow to Chase connection stays red hot even though the Bengals are 0-3. And that is week 3, ladies and gents. Week 4 is right around the corner, and it's still very early, and anybody's race for the playoffs. Yes, that's right, even me. Positive affirmations, baby. Will it and achieve it. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces.